There is a category of plant sitting in nature's own blueprint, quietly reseeding itself year after year without you lifting a single finger. And almost nobody in the gardening industry wants you to know just how powerful these plants really are. Because here's the thing, if you knew, truly knew, what these 7 plants were capable of, you would never walk into a garden center and drop $8, $12, $15 on annuals again. Ever. I've been growing for over 50 years. I've gardened through droughts, through late frosts, through soil so compacted it would break a lesser gardener's spirit. And the plants I'm about to show you? They outlasted all of it. They came back when I didn't ask them to. They fed my family, attracted my pollinators, and filled beds I hadn't touched since the Clinton administration. Stay until plant number 6, because it is a genuine game changer. It's the one I wish someone had handed me on day 1, and it's the one the nursery industry conveniently never puts front and center. Drop your US state or USDA hardiness zone in the comments right now. I want to know where you're gardening from, because a few of these are so adaptable, it almost doesn't matter what you drop. And stay until the end, because the last thing I tell you is the one shift in thinking that will change how you see your entire yard forever. I want to be upfront with you. The garden center model is built on repeat purchases. Annuals die, you come back, you spend again. That's not gardening. That's a subscription you never signed up for. What I'm giving you today is the alternative. Plants that self-seed, meaning they drop their own seed, germinate on their own schedule, and return season after season without your intervention. Some of these have been doing exactly that in my own beds for decades, not years. Decades. The horticulture industry calls them volunteer plants when they show up uninvited. I call them the best employees I've ever had. Plant 1, Calendula. Calendula officinalis. If you are not growing calendula right now, you are leaving one of the hardest working plants in the botanical world, sitting on a shelf at the nursery with a $4 price tag and no explanation of what it can actually do for you. Dried calendula petals sell for anywhere from $15 to $40 per pound in the herbal and cosmetic market. Soap makers want it. Salve makers want it. Herbal tea blenders want it. The demand for organically grown calendula has been climbing steadily for years as consumers push back against synthetic ingredients in skincare. What makes it special is the combination. It blooms prolifically from late spring through hard frost. It self-seeds aggressively in most climates, and the flowers have documented anti-inflammatory and skin-healing compounds that give it genuine commercial and medicinal value. This is not a decorative filler plant. This is a working plant. Calendula thrives in USDA zones 2 through 11. It prefers cool weather, direct sow in early spring or fall, and will naturalize in loose, well-drained soil. Harvest window is long. You'll be deadheading and drying blooms for months. Here's the real pro tip most people miss. Don't deadhead every single flower. Leave a third of your blooms to go to seed deliberately. Those seed heads will drop, and next spring, you will have more calendula than you planted the first time, often double. That is compounding in a garden bed. Plant 2, Borage, Borigo officinalis. Do you know what most gardeners never realize about borage? That it is simultaneously a culinary herb, a pollinator magnet, a companion planting powerhouse, and one of the most enthusiastic self-seeders you will ever put in the ground. Borage seed oil commands prices of $30 to $80 per fluid ounce in the nutraceutical industry. It is one of the richest plant-based sources of gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, on the planet. On the culinary side, the star-shaped blue flowers are edible, used by specialty restaurants and food photographers at premium prices. And in the garden itself, borage is a known companion for tomatoes and squash, repelling tomato hornworm and improving the flavor of crops nearby. Plant it once in a sunny bed with average soil. It will reach 2 to 3 feet tall, bloom in brilliant blue from early summer onward, and then, when it's done, it will scatter hundreds of seeds across your bed. By year 2, you won't need to plant it again. By year 3, it will have staked out territory you didn't even plan for. USDA, zones 3 through 10. Direct sow after last frost, thin to 12 inches apart. The pro tip: barrage does not transplant well. Direct sow only, and do it where you want it to live permanently. Once it finds a spot it likes, it will return to that exact spot year after year like it owns the property. Because, in the best possible way, it does. Plant 3. Lovage, Levisticum officinale. Lovage is the plant that fine dining chefs know about and home gardeners have almost completely forgotten. That gap between what professionals know and what gets stocked at your local garden center. That's not an accident. It's a gap that costs you money. Lovage sells fresh for $8 to $20 per bunch at farmers markets and specialty grocers. It tastes like intense, concentrated celery, a flavor profile so distinct and powerful that a single stem can replace an entire bunch of celery in stock or soup. High-end restaurants in Chicago and New York are paying farm-to-table prices for it, and it grows, without complaint, in nearly every climate in the continental U.S. It's a true perennial, growing back stronger from its root each year, and it self-seeds reliably from the umbel flower heads it produces in its second year. A single mature plant can reach 4 to 6 feet tall. It's architectural, it's edible, and it comes back every single year without you ever touching a seed packet again. USDA, zones 3 through 8, full sun to partial shade. Plant in deep, rich soil. Lovage has a taproot that will push 18 inches down when it's happy. Pro tip: harvest the young leaves in spring when the flavor is most delicate. Let the plant bolt and flower in summer. Those flower heads will set seed, drop into the surrounding soil, and give you new plants by the following season. You get culinary value and propagation from the same cycle. If you've made it this far, you're not a casual gardener. You're someone who wants real information, specific, usable, financially meaningful information. And you're tired of spending money on plants that were never designed to come back. Hit that subscribe button right now. It's free. It's always going to be free. And this channel exists for exactly the kind of gardener you are. Plant 4. Wild bergamot, Monarda fistulosa. Most people know the flashier red Monarda, bee balm, but wild bergamot is the one that earns its keep quietly year after year, and the one that native plant specialists and herbalists have quietly priced at a premium. Dried Monarda herb sells for $12 to $28 per pound in the herbal market. It's antimicrobial. It attracts native bees, bumblebees, hummingbirds, and sphinx moths, the kind of pollinator traffic that lifts the productivity of everything else in your garden. Nurseries that specialize in native plants charge $12 to $18 per plug for established wild bergamot. You grow it once from seed at a fraction of that cost, and it self-seeds freely in your beds every year afterward. Hardy in USDA, zones 3 through 9, full sun to light shade. It spreads both by rhizome and by seed, meaning you'll have a naturalized colony within 2 to 3 seasons if you let it. It's drought tolerant once established, and it handles clay soil better than most plants on this list. Pro tip: leave the spent seed heads standing through winter. They are wildlife habitat, they are beautiful under frost, and they are your free seed bank for next spring. Resist the urge to cut everything back in November. Let the plant do the work. Plant 5. Sweet Sicily, Miris odorata. This one is for the gardeners in the shade, the north-facing beds, the spots under the canopy where most plants give up. Sweet Sicily doesn't give up. Sweet Sicily is a woodland perennial, anise-scented, feathery-leaved, genuinely beautiful, and it is one of the few culinary herbs that actually prefers partial to full shade. In specialty herb markets, fresh Sweet Sicily sells for $10 to $22 per bunch. The seeds are used as a natural sweetener. The roots are edible. The leaves can be used in place of some sugar in desserts, making it genuinely appealing to the low glycemic and diabetic cooking communities, a growing market. USDA, zones 3 through 7. It naturalizes enthusiastically in cool, moist, shaded woodland garden conditions. The large ridged seeds need cold stratification, meaning winter itself does the work for you. Drop the seeds in fall, let the frost come, and watch them emerge in spring. Pro tip: Sweet Cicely resents being moved. Site it carefully the first time, somewhere shaded, somewhere you want it permanently, because once it roots in, it will self-seed into that same shaded corner for years. It rewards patience. Most of the best plants do. 5 plants in. You now know a shade perennial that replaces sugar, a culinary herb that commands restaurant prices, a pollinator colony in a single seed packet, and a self-seeding borage that will stake out your garden beds like it signed a lease. If you're ready to stop buying the same annuals every April and start building something that actually compounds, hit that subscribe button right now. We are breaking down the exact blueprint for a no-replant garden, and if you thought those 5 were impressive, I promise you, plant number 6 is the one that will make you wonder why you never heard of it before. Stay with me. Plant 6, Turkish Rocket, Buneus orientalis. There is a plant used in gourmet European kitchens, foraged by professional chefs, documented in historical European agriculture going back centuries, and almost impossible to find at any major U.S. garden center. Turkish Rocket. Restaurants in London, Amsterdam, and Copenhagen are paying $25 to $60 per pound for the young shoots and flowering tops of this plant. It produces edible shoots in early spring, before almost anything else in your garden has woken up, making it a genuine hunger gap crop. The flavor is mustard-like, complex, slightly bitter, exactly the profile that high-end spring menus are hunting for. But here's what makes it the game changer. It is virtually indestructible. Once established, Turkish Rocket tolerates drought, clay, poor soil, partial shade, hard frost, and total gardener neglect. It is the rare plant that seems to thrive on indifference. It self-seeds prolifically, it returns from its deep taproot every year, and a single established plant will produce enough harvestable shoots and flowering tops to fill multiple farmers' market bundles per season. USDA Zones 3 through 9. Direct sow in fall for best germination. The seeds need a cold period. Space 18 inches apart. It will reach 3 to 5 feet when flowering. Do not plant it somewhere you want to reclaim, because Turkish Rocket does not go quietly. The pro tip, and this one matters: harvest the young shoots at 4 to 6 inches tall, the way you'd harvest asparagus. That's when the flavor is best and the texture is most marketable. Let a portion of the plant flower and set seed every year, and you will never buy or plant another one again. This is the plant the mainstream gardening world in the U.S. has essentially ignored. While every garden center is stocking their 15th variety of marigold, Turkish Rocket is sitting in the background of European horticultural tradition, earning real money for the growers who know it. Now you know it. Plant 7. Fennel, Feniculum vulgare. Bronze fennel. This is the closer. This is the plant that ties the whole system together. Fresh fennel fronds from specialty-grown bronze fennel sell for $8 to $20 per bunch at farmers markets. The pollen, yes, the pollen, is a spice used in high-end Italian cuisine that retails for $25 to $45 per half ounce in specialty food stores. The seeds are a culinary staple. The foliage is one of the most beautiful textural plants you can grow. And it is a larval host plant for the eastern black swallowtail butterfly, meaning it's not just earning you money, it's anchoring your garden ecosystem. Bronze fennel self-seeds so reliably that in many climates you will spend more time thinning volunteers than you ever will planting new ones. It establishes quickly, reaches 4 to 6 feet, and its feathery bronze foliage adds structure and movement to any bed it occupies. USDA Zones 4 through 9. Full sun, well-drained soil. One word of warning that most people learn the hard way: keep fennel away from your dill, your cilantro, and your tomatoes. It is allelopathic. It produces compounds that inhibit the growth of many neighboring plants. Give it its own section of the garden, let it rain there, and it will reward you every single season. Pro tip: let the seed heads go fully golden before you cut them. Collect the seeds in a paper bag by cutting the heads and inverting them. You'll have hundreds of seeds for trading, selling, or starting new beds. Or simply leave them and let the plant do what it has been doing for thousands of years. Which of these 7 are you planting first? Drop a comment below. I genuinely want to know. If you're in your 50s or 60s or beyond, you have spent enough money on plants that didn't come back, enough springs starting from zero, enough trips to the garden center buying the same flat of annuals for the same beds because nobody told you there was another way. You've earned the right to a garden that does more of the work itself. That's not lazy gardening. That's wise gardening. That is 50 years of hard-won knowledge distilled into a single decision: to plant things that compound instead of things that quit. Calendula that doubles itself every season. Barrage that stakes out your beds and feeds your pollinators. Lovage that earns restaurant prices. Wild bergamot that builds a pollinator colony. Sweet Sicily that works the shade no one else will touch. Turkish rocket, the gourmet crop that the U.S. market has barely woken up to. And bronze fennel that produces culinary gold from its pollen to its seeds. These are the plants that belong in your garden. Not because I said so, because 5,000 years of agricultural history and the chefs, herbalists, foragers, and serious growers who never stopped using them have proven it. This channel is free. It is here every single week. It is built specifically for the gardener who is done being sold to and ready to start building something real. Subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, drop your zone in the comments, and go plant something that will still be feeding you a decade from now. I'll see you in the next one.